Hi everyone, it's Heidi from flutterbyheidi.co.uk, back again with another 3D project for you, and this time it's a welcome to your new home and just a hello gift for some new neighbours. I've had some new neighbours move in across the street, so I've made them a card, sort of impossible card, just as a welcome to the neighbourhood card, and I thought to go with that, what would be nicer than a little handmade gift containing some of my favourite Yankee candles. And you'll see the top here is like a little rooftop, and I saw a German demo, I think it was a German demo, do something similar, but I couldn't see any instructions, so I've come up with my own version. So without further ado, as you can see in here, the box opens up and it just takes 6 of the gorgeous Yankee candles. These ones are pink grapefruit, and we probably take more of a standard size. These ones are quite deep, so it certainly takes 6 of them, if not 8 of a different sort, depending on what you can get. But you could also put all sorts of little gifts in there, and it just folds up. And I just really thought this sort of little house shape was a really pretty way of doing it. Of course, I've used the Share What You Love DSP, which is super, it's a heavyweight DSP, so it's really more like cardstock, and it's got a lovely pearlescent sheen to it, you can see there, and so that's what we're going to make. So I've got some other candles, which are these ones here, so sort of yellows and oranges, which I thought would go really nicely with this paper here. So again, this is a piece of paper that's got a lovely sheen to it. I'll work in inches today. Centimetres are on my blog, so feel free to pop along there. So to start off with, you need a piece of cardstock that is 10 1/4 by 7 3/8, and we're going to start off by scoring on the long edge at 3 1/4, at 4 7/8, just off the top there, apologies, 4 7/8, at 8 1/8, so just here, and at 9 3/4. Then on the short edge, you're going to score at 1 5/8, so 1 1/2 and just over, at 4 1/8, at 5 5/8, no, 5 3/4, apologies, 5 3/4, like so. There we go. Okay, so that's all of our main scoring done, but we're going to be scoring some diagonals as well. And the easiest way to do that, before I put my trimmer away, is to grab your snips. Where are my snips? Okay. Find my paper snips. And what we're going to do is cut down, and then we'll score the diagonals, because it's just much easier to do once you've scored, particularly when you're working on patterned cardstock. So you're looking at the section where you've got sort of 2 score lines at the top, and you're just going to cut straight down on all 4 score lines. And on the last one, you are going to cut down, and you're going to cut that away, like so. So those are our 4 flaps, and then we're going to cut the bottom section as well. So cut away the little rectangle, and then cut up each of our flaps. And on these ones where there's a single score, you're just going to notch, like so. So now that I've done that, I can show you how to score those diagonal lines. So what we're going to do, so we're going to fold away the 2 thinner score lines, and then all you do is pop this in and line up the top of the square and the bottom with the track, and just score the diagonal. Repeat for this one while it's in this orientation. So you're just making sure that this little bit here is, you can just see the track, and then just repeat for the other score line. So line up the score line and the point, and again point there. And now we'll pop away our trimmer. And now if we just reinforce all of those score lines, I can make making our box much easier. So here we go. And while it's flat, I'm also going to punch the holes as well. So with these, with the score lines, I'm going to fold the diagonals and a straight across, and then with these ones I'm just going to push them in on themselves and reinforce. That creates our little house point. And again, side, and now to create the holes, you could, if you wanted to, probably use a binder clip to hold it together actually at the top, but I've got one of these memory keepers punches, which just they're really strong and they just go through sort of loads of layers. So all I'm going to do is just pop that into my punch, and just in the top there punch a hole. And I haven't done that one very well at all, not very central. Never mind. And again, I've done a better job on that one. Okay, right. But by the time it's got some ribbon in, you're not going to notice. So to actually finish building our box, we're just going to use some tape. Now, because I'm putting candles in these, I'm actually going to use some red tape, because obviously they do weigh a little bit. So I'm just going to pop a piece of red tape on the edge here. There we go. Burnish that well. And that's going to be the back of our box. So I'm going to fold in the two side pieces. I'm going to fold this one at the back where the seam is down, and I'm going to put some red tape on the bottom there. So what you want is ideally is the is to fold at the another piece just for good measure. You want the fold at the front of the box ideally. So just take off the red tape, and because those sides are nice and square, if you just fold that up, like so. So that's actually ready to pop our candles in, and then we can get on with the stamping and decorating. So I've got two fragrances here, because one's the mice around, just because I thought they went with the paper nicely. And also I do like the fragrances, but it's always, I quite like when you get the boxes of Yankee candles. They're great, but they get 12. I don't know about you, but after a while you kind of lose the fragrance. So I thought, well, what better way actually than to mix it up a bit, so give someone something a little bit different. So now we've got the front of our box, and in order to tie that together, I've just cut a length of our white ribbon. And I can remember, I'm going to pop it from the back through both. Then you've got a loop. Feed that through the loop to the front there. Just position those kind of either side. And then actually it's really easy then to just tie a little bow on the front. So that's ready for us to decorate. And I've done it the wrong way round now because I've because I've got my crease at the front. Oh, that's going to be our front, because our seam is at the back here. So that will be the front. I'll retie the bow in a moment. So to create the layers on the front of our box, as you can see here, what I've done is I've used the lovely new Stampin' die set floral frames. And you've got coordinating dies and some beautiful stamped images, which are great for colouring. So I've already die cut one of the background frames out of it, and I'm then going to punch a layer using my punch. It's 2 1/4 inch punch. I'll just use a bit of So Saffron there, and that is just the size of the I can't get my words out. That's just the size of that round circle. I'm then going to use some So Saffron ink to create a nice smudge on that one. There we go. There's a hello. And then just come in with the 2 inch punch. Punch that out. Then we're just going to layer that up. There. I'm going to pop that up on a couple of dimensionals. There's a lovely shot of my arm there, that's great, isn't it? So let's pop a couple of dimensionals on the back there. So there we have our little sprig with our hello, so that's going to go onto the front of our box. And then the flowers come in, there's 2 stamps there, one of the 2 and one of the 3, and I'm just going to stamp those in Memento. And because I'm going to be colouring using alcohol markers, I've used Memento ink to stamp those. So now they come with some coordinating dies, so I'm just going to pop those through. There we go, so that's the coordinating dies to go with it. And here we go, our stamped images. Now I haven't got all of the colours yet, so I just thought I was going to use some slightly different colours. So I'm actually using the light Daffodil Delight here. And the beauty of alcohol markers is that they really blend beautifully, so you can kind of get subtle shades. Because if you think about flowers, they're never a solid colour anyway, and they've actually got sort of hints and tones of all sorts of colours in there. So there's my yellow, and I'm actually then using, this is the light Calypso Coral, and I'm just adding little bits of colour to that. I'm just kind of following those sort of rough lines that are there, and any little sort of white bits. And then just blend those in using the yellow again, just to sort of soften those. So I've done that with another one. And again, all I'm going to do is pop a dimensional on the back of each of those, and then add them to the front of our box. So this can go on flat. And I hope you'll agree that there we have a pretty little box just ready to gift. I'll show you how we do our bow again. So just feed through, fold it in half, feed the loop through from the back to the centre. You see our little rooftop box. pull that, it doesn't have to be too tight, because you want to kind of see that little sort of triangle roof effect. And all you do is just tie a bow. Trim the ends of your ribbon. And there, a pair of Yankee Candle rooftop boxes. I hope you've enjoyed. I hope you'll enjoy making them. Come back and see me again soon. I'll have some more projects to share with you. Bye now.